Today, we talk to some of the most amazing collectors out there, and they give us their tips. Plus, we get a figure that we have always wanted, but have never had. So let's get started. Welcome back to The Journey, and if you're new, we are collecting the entire Star Wars Kenner line, starting in 1977 and ending at 1985, and yes, we started from scratch. So if you need to go back and binge watch those episodes, please do. So I consider myself a beginning collector, hence the name, Padawan Collector. And honestly, I think that whatever collecting line that you're into, there's just so much to learn, and also so much to find out about that toy line that you love. Whether it's facts about the figures themselves, the history and the lore surrounding them, or the best ways to go about collecting them. So I reached out to some of the most amazing collectors out there, and all of them I consider Jedi Knight collectors. And I asked them to send in some of their best collecting tips. And also, you're gonna wanna stick around for the last collecting tip because it's quite a surprise. So let's go. So we start with a collector that I have mad respect for, and her collection has made her famous around the world. Please welcome the amazing Robin Bakra.
So a big tip for collectors out there that are just starting off is to buy what you like. Buy the item that sings to you. Buy the item that maybe you lost as a kid during a move from one house to another. Buy something that really makes you have a little bit of an emotional response when you get it and you go, I've got it again. So buy for yourself. Don't buy to impress. Buy to impress yourself, not others. Buy the item that really means something to you because you're the one who's going to be looking at it a really long time.
Thank you so much, Robin. And I think that we can all attest to what Robin said. And a link for Bespin Prime is down there in the description. The admins and the page experts always help the members the best way they can. And it's a great place to be for vintage collecting of all lines. All right, next up, we have a guy who has a fantastic page here on YouTube. And if you're into grading collectibles and really the current market updates on what's being sold and bought, especially in the world of grading, the Action Figure Grader is the channel to go to. And here is John, the Action Figure Grader.
Hey there, Star Wars collectors. It's me, John, from the Action Figure Grader YouTube channel. And I think my number one collecting tip that I'm sure others will mention is patience. Patience is the key for hitting a home run with any Star Wars purchase. Anytime I've panicked and bought something really quickly without doing my research to see what the sales prices are and how rare it is and how easy it's going to be to find a different one if this one doesn't work out, I always overpay. You got to remember that Kenner, during the height of their popularity in the 1980s, they were pumping out 20 million figures a year across all the different factories worldwide. So most of the time, unless it's a very, very rare variant, finding what you want is not difficult, and it just takes a little bit of patience.
Hey John, thanks for your advice. And honestly, it was hard for me to focus on what you were saying because I was looking at your fantastic collection in the background the whole time. I'm kidding, well, sort of. But he's right, and that's something that I still have to learn, especially when I first started. And if you've been following my journey, you've noticed many, many times when I've said, I wish I would have waited.
The boy has no patience.
You will learn patience.
And a link for the Action Figure Graders channel is down there in the description as well, and I highly, highly recommend his channel. The next collector is not only a friend of the channel, but a friend to me and a fellow brother of the Peg Warmers live stream. He is none other than Mark at Blue Harvest Vintage Toys, the YouTube channel. So I asked him two questions that I had, and here they are. So, all right, here goes. Question number one. What is your go-to place to find out what current market prices could be?
What I always use is the Star Wars tracker. I use the
iPhone, but you can use the website as well. So here is your loose figures collection. You've got all your 96 figures on there, maybe more because there's variants on there as well. But you can go to the last 5 years, the last week. There's all the licenses that you can pick and all in all the countries. It's not just loose figures. Just click on one of the icons, pop up lightsaber R2. 297 have been sold. Yeah, it's risen in value. So you've got your coins, you've got your play sets. You can choose which card back you want as well. You can also put your own collection in there. Put your own portfolio in there of your collection. Put in what you paid for it, and it'll give you a valuation so you know whether it's gone up or whether the value's gone down.
Okay, and question number 2. What's a great entry-level MOC that a beginning collector like me should really buy first?
Depends what condition you want. The Return of the Jedi cards are what you want to start off with. There was such an abundance of the Return of the Jedi cards that you will always find one. Low Grey, Chief Chirper, Weequay, Klaatu, Jabba's Goons, they will be quite cheap.
Mark, thanks for your advice on the tracker, which I just got. And if you want to use that tracker, you can get the code TSW-25 for $5 off right now. And I know I'm going to take your advice and start collecting MOCs from the Return of the Jedi probably soon. A link to Blue Harvest Vintage Toys is down in the description as well. It's a great channel, so please subscribe to it.
Too short for a stormtrooper? Huh?
You're right. I should really be a TIE fighter instead. Well, I'll leave being a stormtrooper to the pros. And what would this show be without a visit from one of the 501st members themselves? This next collector sold me that Jabba playset back there and also my Rancor monster. And his Legion ID is TK41970. Please welcome Eric.
So I love collecting men on card. There's something really magical about seeing the toy I played with, connected with that image from that moment in the movie that's just really magical for me. But not everybody's ready to take that plunge into men on card. It is a little bit of a Pandora's box. And some people just aren't, willing to make that commitment financially, and just like collecting their loose figures. So here's a great idea I learned. Collect card backs, obviously your loose figures. Then what you're going to do is go on Amazon. You're going to order what's called a top loader. I believe these are 6x9 that fit the card backs perfectly. You're also going to order 3 3/4 inch blister cases for action figures. You're going to cut off this little top piece with the hang tab. Then you're going to use some glue. Do not use super glue because it glues and it turns a kind of crusty, opaque color. I recommend E6000, but any plastic glue that dries clear. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the top loader and you're going to slide it into there, and you're going to use that to position your blister pack. I'm trying to do this quickly. So what's going to happen is once you glue the blister pack in place, you can almost cover up most of where it was torn off, which is really cool. Then you pop this open, you put your figure in, and voila. You've got something that almost looks like a men on card, really connects that figure to that moment in the movie. And then lastly, if you want, use command strips. Put that on the back, won't damage the card. Put another one on the wall, and you can hang these and display them on your wall. So, hope you enjoyed the tip and the trip down vintage collecting lane, and may the force be with you.
If you all aren't searching on Amazon for all of those supplies right now, in fact, all of those supplies are down there in the links. So if you need those, please use those links. They do support the channel. The 501st partners with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where they provide wishes that are Star Wars in nature, such as trips on Disney cruises, bedroom makeovers, movie premieres, to children that are battling life-altering diseases who need the extra power of the Force. So Eric and the 501st ask you to visit the link in the description and make a donation to help that cause. So thank you, Eric, and thank you to the community over at the 501st. The next collector is not only one of the coolest collectors in the community, but he has one of the most amazing collections out there. His YouTube channel is at Star Wars Replicas. It's a great place to catch up with him and see what his jaw-dropping collection is. So let's hear from Gabe himself.
Hey everybody, my name is Gabriel and I'm on social media as Star Wars Replicas. Thank you so much to the Padawan Collector for inviting me on here to give you some basic tips on collecting. And I'd say I'd break those down into 3 basic tips. Tip number 1, I'd say pick your poison. With Star Wars collectibles, there's just too many genres. I'd say stick to one genre, right? Whether it be life-size props, hot toys, vintage, Black Series, whatever it may be, but stick to one. Trust me, your wallet's gonna be a lot happier and you're gonna be happier in the long run. Tip number 2, always keep your display in the forefront of your mind. Whenever you're buying something, think about how you're gonna display it, how it's gonna fit. Obviously, you don't wanna just buy something to keep it in the closet or keep it in, somewhere where it's never gonna see the light of day. Show it off, right? And really think about how you're gonna display it. Really enjoy your collectibles. Tip number 3, I would say get involved in your community, right? There's so many groups out there, YouTube channels where you can learn so much and really get involved in that community. Those are my 3 tips. Thank you again for having me on. Again, you can follow me on social media at Star Wars Replicas, or you can catch our weekly Saturday show on YouTube called Collection Wars, where we actually discuss this kind of stuff. And we talk about collectibles and collections and show off these amazing displays. So see you guys later and may the force be with you.
3 great tips from a dude who knows what he's talking about. And all of his social media links are down there in the description, as well as the link to Collection Wars. And he does those broadcasts with this next collector. His name is Starkiller77. And everybody, get ready to have your mind frozen in carbonite after you see this collection. So here is Starkiller77.
Hey everybody, Michael here, Starkiller77. Look, when it comes to collecting, I think what's very important is that you find your passion first. Don't collect what everybody else wants to collect. You collect what you want. And it doesn't matter how big or how small your collection is. What's important is what those particular items that you're collecting are doing for you, the collector. So my advice is find what you like and start from there. And it might be something that you already have hidden up in your attic somewhere that you need to get down and remember the times. Like when, for example, I've got a pretty good sized collection, and the funniest thing is it's the little things in my collection. Like this R2-D2, this was my first toy that I got. And I love this thing. This has more meaning to me than a lot of these big items that I collect. So just remember, don't go with the hype, go with what you love, the passion, Star Wars, and may the force be with you.
Awesome advice from an awesome dude and a very, very passionate collector. And I absolutely love the journey that he went on. And I love that when he was holding his first R2 in his hand, right in back of him was the real R2. I mean, just a mind-melting collection. So a link to his YouTube channel at Starkiller77 is down there in the description as well as Collection Wars. So please go check out those channels. And our next collector comes from my friend, General Kenobi's Bunker. He's an awesome guy, a supporter of the show, and has an amazing collection himself.
Your focus determines your reality. This applies to collecting because realistically we can't collect every single figure of every single line. You gotta find something that brings you joy, and that's gonna be your particular brand of collecting. Now, here's the hard part, sticking to your rules. Meaning, when you see something you really like, you gotta ask yourself, is it gonna bring me joy and is it gonna fit my overall collection? I hope this helps, guys. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.
A link to General Kenobi's Bunker is down there in the description. Please check out his channel. And he brings up a good point, to set rules for yourself for collecting. Setting those boundaries for myself has brought me the most joy, has brought me the most focus. So thank you, General. And this next collector has not only been a supporter of this channel since the very beginning, but he has one of the most popular collecting channels here on YouTube. And he comes to us from his Ochre Studio YouTube channel. If you ever have a question about collecting, all you gotta do is type in, "Hey Vern."
Hey Padawan collector, here's my tip. I buy online auction lots, and typically what I'll do is I'll keep the figures I'm really interested in and I'll sell off the other ones to help me pay for the ones that I want to keep. And it usually works out pretty well. One of the places I like to shop online is shopgoodwill.com. Now, shopgoodwill.com is an online auction site for Goodwills across the country. So they're auctioning off donated items, and you know what? You find some great deals in there. So that's my tip. I hope it's helpful. Keep collecting, everybody. It's a lot of fun.
I absolutely love that tip from Hey Vern, and I'm always looking for new ways and new places to collect, so that's why I like that clip so much. And a link to Oakhurst Studio is down there in the description, so please go check that one out. The next two collectors are from the Holo Chronicles podcast. They are both amazing guys, amazing collectors, and amazing supporters of this show.
Josh and Andy here from the Holo Chronicles with a collector tip for the Padawan collector.
Our tip for you, you've already started by being organized, and that's super important, but probably the next most important thing that we could give as a piece of advice to a new collector is to do it with your friends.
That's right, Andy. That's right. It's the best.
It's so much more fun when you have people to share your love and joy and excitement with, whether it's someone in the same town or someone that's across the pond in another country, but you guys both share a love and you can help each other find things, you can network, it's just a wonderful community to be a part of. And if you're with your buddies, man, it sets it over the top.
Well, and you'll make buddies while you join those communities, and they'll want to help you find what you're looking for. That's what's important.
And vice versa.
We did, when we first started, we shared our lists together. We had a list of things we were collecting, and each one of us in our small collecting community, which was only like 5 or 6 guys, found stuff for each other. And then we did exchanges. Hey, I bought this. Do you want that? Hey, I got that. Do you want this? We did it over and over and over again. The best thing you can do as a new collector is join a community and do it with your friends.
100%. Good luck. Keep the hunt. Play with your toys.
Hey, thanks Josh and Andy. So everybody, please subscribe to the Holo Chronicles channel. The link is down there in the description. So we have 2 more collectors giving us tips, and then we're gonna get a figure. So our next collector tip comes to us from a great friend and a great YouTube channel. And if you want to check out a really cool channel, go check out Papa Gord. So here is the Papa himself.
Hey everybody, Papa Gord here with just 1 or 2 little tips for any new collectors out there. So I will say my biggest mistake was buying anything and everything I possibly could, thinking I wasn't going to find it at a cheaper price or maybe in a lot deal. So I would tell you right now, check your buy and sell groups. When you're going to, say, conventions or toy shows, check the bins under the tables as well, because you can find some great additions. And especially if you're an out-of-box collector, who cares about the box? All the best, guys. Later, eh?
And thanks to my Canadian brother, Papa Gord, I couldn't have said that better myself. Focus that collection. And please, subscribe to Papa Gord's channel here on YouTube. That link is down there as well. All right, so I told you about our last tip, and it comes to us from my friend Mike, who's an admin over at the Smuggler's Den. The Smuggler's Den on Facebook is home to some of the most talented custom creators and fans of the most awesome custom creations out there. So I asked Mike for a tip, and well, he sent me something that totally surprised me.
If I could give a tip to Star Wars collectors, it would be collect what you love. I love Kenner Star Wars, and probably so do you. And you should consider having a focus. My focus is Kenner Stormtroopers. This one is my favorite, and it's all the way from Mexico. It's a Lily Letty hard torso Stormtrooper. Why it's called that is because the torso sculpt is a lot sharper than the 2-line Hong Kong common variant. And that's what I love. And just enjoy your fakes.
It's Kenner. It's fun.
That is the best tip ever. And it's one that brought a true smile to my face, because guys and gals, everything that we're collecting today is one day gonna be passed on to the next generation of collectors, and you just saw them. So it's awesome to see that next generation so pumped up and so knowledgeable about the vintage Kenner collecting line. I mean, I absolutely love that. So thank you, Mike, and thank you to the Smuggler's Den. So please go down and support the Smuggler's Den and become a part of that awesome community. And a link for their Facebook group is down there in that description. So before I go off on my hunt for the figure that I get, I just want to say thank you to all of the collectors who submitted their tips. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you viewers out there to know that there is such a strong collecting community out there. So please go check out their channels, go check out their sites, and go check out their causes, such as the 501st Make-A-Wish Foundation. And let's keep supporting all those collectors on their journey. So I think it's fitting that we just heard from the most amazing Jedi Knight collectors out there. So I think that we should collect the biggest and the best Jedi Knight out there. So let's get the original Yoda. Now, I've said on a previous episode that there are many variants of Yoda, and the main two are the Yoda with the orange snake and the other one with the brown snake. After that, the variations get so mind-boggling. So today, we're gonna look for the Hong Kong Yoda, who came with the orange snake and the light olive skin. Now, the character of Yoda is 900 years old and was the teacher to most of all the Jedi that we have ever known in canon. His teachings are basically meant to be Instagram memes. So let's break down the Yoda figure that we wanna get. So first off, the figure itself. Now, like I said, there is a huge variant class for Yoda. But as for the Hong Kong version that we want to get, this figure was first released in Wave 2 of the Empire Strikes Back card on the 32 ABAC. And the reason why he was on Wave 2 and not Wave 1 was that Kenner and Lucasfilm did this to keep the surprise of what the Jedi Master looked like, so the surprise would work inside the film. Early 80s spoiler suppression. The character was voiced and puppeted by Frank Oz from the Muppets fame, and Mr. Oz is a talented writer and director in his own right, and the director of one of my favorite films, What About Bob?
False alarm.
So like I said, Yoda was released in the second wave, and the one we are after comes from the Smile Factory, and his country of origin stamp is found right in the hunchback of his figure. He has the light olive skin, and we are on the lookout for the lighter cane that came with this figure. Now for the belt, we are wanting to make sure that the belt we get for this figure is the Smile Factory belt as well, and that belt was the thinnest belt produced for this figure. And what's that thing on Yoda's belt? Well, I didn't put two and two together until I went to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, and this is what I found. And this is Luke's lamp from the Empire Strikes Back that he gives to Yoda.
That's fine, or I will help you not.
So if you've ever wondered what was on Yoda's belt, well, now you know. And I've got to tell you, when I was doing the research on this Yoda, it was the most mind-boggling thing ever to know how many variants and combinations there could be for this one figure. But we found a great example of Yoda from our friends over at Orange Droid Vintage Toys. I mean, they always package the figures up top notch. And this figure, I can't see any flaws in at all. So let's go over the features. This one is called the Cherry-Eyed Yoda because of the deeper red color that they gave to his eye paint, as opposed to the other Yodas who also have the orange snake. The belt is the correct thin belt, and the cane is the correct lighter cane. The coat is gorgeous and has absolutely no flaws in it whatsoever, no scuffs in the hands or feet or in the main mold, and we are definitely gonna get this one graded after we find another Yoda that we can put inside that case to replace it. So let's go ahead and mark off this Yoda, which we bought for $78.43 from Orange Droid. And let's also place this gorgeous figure inside our collector displays case, and a link for their site is down there in the description as well. And guess what? Our new creature case that we just bought from Collector Displays has just shipped to us. So we're gonna get that in like a couple of days. So I can't wait to unbox it, put it together, and do a review when I finally put my Rancor, my Tauntaun, and make room for the rest of the box items that we have yet to collect. And if that wasn't enough, we are getting case number 1 that's ever been sold. So I am doubly excited about that. So I had a ton of fun on this episode. Thank you to all of my friends and those amazing collectors for sending in all their cool tips. I really hope that some of that knowledge is being passed on to you guys and gals because it's really helped me a lot. So please go down to that description, check out their channels, check out their sites, and check out their causes. And if you found this video interesting, please hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can follow the journey. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time. If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.